What's up? So we're gonna be replacing brake pads today. We've actually already started, and we've removed these two caps from inside there where the 5mm bolts are. We have to remove those next. You have to have a 5mm. This is a bicycle tool, but it should work. And it goes in here, and you just unscrew it. It comes all the way out. But we're not going to take it all the way out yet. We'll do the same thing here. It's actually a lot easier with this than it is a regular Allen wrench because you have the two. So next is these 12mm bolts. Those hold on the caliper. We have to remove those next. We have to use a 12mm socket wrench. That wasn't even very tight. Slide the caliper off. Take the bolts out all the way. There's no brake pad on there. Metal to metal. So we bought this thing and the guy says, I think it might need some new brake pads. I'm not sure though. Definitely. Don't lose your bolts. They're very important. Look how dirty that is. We're gonna have to wipe it down a little bit. Hey, what's the dog doing?
Chewy!
Okay, so in order to get the new pads in there, these pistons have to be pushed back into the caliper. Before we push the pistons back into the caliper, we have to take off the cap to the brake fluid reservoir. If you push the fluid back up through here with it closed off, you could cause air bubbles and or maybe even split a line.
So basically removing the top releases pressure.
Yes, we're going to push these pistons back into the caliper, and we're going to use just a backyard method. No special tools required. Just me. You take both your brake pads and you leave them in or you put them back in, and you stick a screwdriver between them and kind of work it back and forth, pushing the piston back in until you get enough clearance. Between the two. So we have the new brake pads. We got them really cheap on eBay. Some people don't believe in buying stuff cheap, and they really don't give a shit. You don't want to use your greasy fingers to touch the brake pads though. If you get any grease on your brake pads, they will be ineffective and howl and squeal and make all kinds of noises like your girlfriend. What? Just snug them in there if you're going in. Get it in the hole first.
That's important.
It is? I guess it depends on which hole it is. We're screwing it. Slide the caliper back on to the rotor, and there's enough room. Awesome.
Awesome.
Right there. Okay, so 20 minutes later, after you get your first bolt in the hole, you get another chance at the bottom one. Hopefully you can do that one quicker. And it should be a lot easier because it lines up, because the first one's already in the hole. So now both your holes are filled. You just snug them down with your fingers first. And then tighten them up. Good. Okay, then we have to tighten the 5mm bolts. Then we have to do the caps over the 5mm bolts. Now we're going to put the cap back on the brake fluid reservoir. Now we should be able to grab the brake lever, give it a few squeezes until it gets hard. And once it gets hard and all pumped up, you should be good to go.